Incidentally, the background music that you're going to hear is supplied by Pappy and Harriet, the owners of the Pioneertown Palace.
We're just a pair of old sneakers, worn out and coming unglued, both wearing rings and feeling ashamed, trying to run from the truth.
We're at Pappy and Harriet's Pioneertown Palace here in Pioneertown. We're going to be talking with Constance Walsh. She's a spokesman for Pioneertown. Constance, could you tell us briefly a little bit about Pioneertown and what it is?
Pioneertown's an Old West movie town that was built in the 40s by Dick Curtis, and all during the 50s, Gene Autry and Roy Rogers were among the cowboy stars who filmed here, and it was a real rip-roaring town during all those years. Then there was a kind of lull, and a man named Benton Lefton tried to turn it into a super-duper resort called the Golden Empire, which didn't quite work out. This was in the 60s. After that, it went into kind of another lull, and today there's a new generation of Pioneertowners here, along with many old-timers. It hasn't changed one speck. The old buildings are still there, only the atmosphere is wonderful. It's like a family town with lots of music, horses, and the people who live here are looking for something different. They want to quit the rat race, in a sense. But it's turning into a very unique kind of town, which it always has been. Only that's the direction is keeping it as it is. And
speaking of which, how do the people here in Pioneertown, yourself included, see the future or the growth pattern for Pioneertown in coming years?
It's very difficult to explain exactly what Pioneertown is, because in California particularly, and in the Southwest, there have been many old mining towns or old Western towns that have really gone commercial. And Pioneertown has all the attributes to do that, the structure, the beauty of the place, the history. But there's one big difference, is that each one of us owns our property and our houses, and we live in it, and we're opening businesses in those houses and on those properties, and we don't put the lock in the door at 5 o'clock and go home. This is our home, and this is where we welcome visitors.
Do you see yourself as copying those other towns specifically, or do you think you've got a different theme here with Pioneertown?
It might sound like a contradiction, but we're trying to do two things. We want people up here. We like people. We need them. We don't want to commute to the city to work. We all have talents that could have us surviving here if we have visitors who can come up and enjoy the things that we enjoy, and that is the beauty of nature here is incredible. It's very peaceful, and yet it's very entertaining, especially on weekends. There's a lot of music, a lot of animals, a lot of children. People come up here to camp, to dance, and just to make friends. They'll find something here that you don't find anywhere else.
That brings me to my next question. I notice a certain sense of community here. I don't know if it's just because we're all down here now doing this taping, or if there really exists that strong sense of community here. Care to elaborate?
What you see is what you get. One thing about Main Street, Pioneertown. Pioneertown is a postal area, but when we speak of Pioneertown, we're talking about Main Street, M-A-N-E. That was established way back when they built the town. But it's a private community. All of this is private property. The Main Street is private, right up to the middle of the street. Every property owns right up to the middle of Main Street. And it's an unpaved street. It's just one long road. You have the OK Corral on one end and the Pioneertown Palace on the other, and all these other things happening in between, like the bowling alley and a real U.S. post office and an antique shop and an art gallery, and other things will be coming. But it is like one big family, not like a commune. There's a lot of privacy. We all respect one another very much. But we all want the same thing for Pioneertown. We want to keep the spirit. We want to keep the beauty. We don't want to get so big that we'll lose this home feeling that we have. And for those of us who come from elsewhere and who have left our families behind, and a few of us have done that, we've got a family here, absolutely.
Do you think there would come a time in the future of Pioneertown when you'd want to restrict growth so you could keep that sense of community, or do you think that's too far down the line to consider right now?
I don't think it's far down the line at all, because we have to look to the future. I have no doubt that Pioneertown is going to become very popular and very successful. I have no doubt about that at all, but not restrict, just control. This is an Old West town. We want it to look Old West, but we want it to feel Old West. There's nothing artificial here, and we don't want anything artificial.
I understand you're going to be having a chili cook-off here in Pioneertown to benefit, I believe it's the fire brigade. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, we don't have a mayor, and we don't have a town council or a chamber of commerce or anything like that yet, but we do have the Pioneertown Volunteer Fire Brigade, which is to teach people how to protect themselves against fire and teach us first aid and all of that, but also it's kind of a social structure. We have potlucks and meetings once a month, and it's communications. We all get to meet each other once a month, what we want to do, and we need a firehouse very badly. The county has been very supportive in what we want to do, but they will not build us a firehouse. And we're 4 miles up the mountains. If anything happened here, it would take quite a while before anyone got to us. So we want to build our own fire station. We already have a vintage fire truck and another one that is not so old but that works, but we have to house them. We need new equipment. So a couple of years ago we started putting on pretty ambitious parties or festivals to raise money to build this firehouse. And that's what the Jamboree is all about. Any proceeds will be going toward the building of the firehouse in Pioneertown.
Could you give us the dates and roughly how to get here from, say, the lower desert?
Okay. The Jamboree is April 30th and May 1st. And on April 30th, there's a chili cook-off. And on May 1st, which is the Sunday, there's a terrific jam session. We'll have music all day, inside and out. We'll have art exhibits, dancing horses, horseshoe pitching contest, games for children. Please bring the whole family, your dogs, your horses, anything. This is a horse town, by the way. Oh yeah, and before I forget to answer that, I want to remind everyone that it's very cool here in summer. That is comfortably cool for those who are coming from the low desert. Take Indian Avenue from Palm Springs, just follow it all the way to Highway 62, straight up through Yucca Valley, and in the middle of Yucca there's a little sign that says Pioneertown Road. Soon there'll be a big sign. So you just hang a left on Pioneertown Road and you're there.
Thanks very much. Let's take a look at Pioneertown.
You're the reason our kids are ugly, little darling. All the looks ain't everything, and money ain't everything, but I love you just the same. I guess that we won't ever have everything we need. Just when we get ahead, it's another mouth to feed. And he's the reason my good looks and my figure is gone. You think so? You're the reason I ain't got no hair to comb. You're the reason our kids are ugly, little darling. All the looks ain't everything, and money ain't everything, but I love you just the same.